Good morning, friends. Today is 22nd April, and this video is actually a tribute to my father, who was a teacher, a very good teacher, who also taught me uh, while I was in class 9, 10, and 11. Uh, he later on became a headmaster of a art secondary school. Uh, his name is uh, Mulk Malik Sena, Sena. He was a very good teacher. He passed away in 1885, my father, but uh, I haven't found a better teacher of English literature. And he inspired me from my very childhood to read literature, to read stories, novels, etc., poems, etc. And later on, I took up English honors. Then I did my masters in English. So this video is dedicated to the memory of my dear father, Mulk Malik Sena. I read three or four poems. I remember Abu bin Adam by Leigh Hunt, uh, Solitary Reaper by Wordsworth, and the Daffodils by Wordsworth. And I studied at his feet The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde. Today I'll be, and he uh, got him involved in, he used to involve himself so much in his teaching, and he was so earnest to, I mean, to be understood by the weakest student in the in the school, in the classroom, that everybody, I mean, I think was uh, able to understand whatever he was taking up in the class. So Daffodils was very dear to my father also, and just to inspire me uh, and to make me aware of the greatness of Wordsworth, and especially about the fact that Wordsworth managed to say very beautiful things, very beautiful thoughts, great thoughts in very simple words. किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है, किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है. Up, you will be surprised why I sang this song in the middle of my video in which I am going to talk about a great well-known poem about a great poet, William Wordsworth. Now, I just wanted to stress the fact that very beautiful truths can be expressed in very simple words. If you have read anything from Bible, the Christian religious book, you must have noticed. Actually, I had a part of Bible in my postgraduate course, the book of Job. This small episode from Bible, this story from Bible just was about a very good man who suffered in life very greatly. He suffered terribly, but he never lost faith in God and in the goodness of human heart. So when I read this in my syllabus, postgraduate syllabus, I realized that the language of Bible is very simple and very impressive. So great truths of life, in fact, are very simple. And many great writers like Hemingway or Premchand or William Wordsworth or Samuel Taylor Coleridge, they have managed to say great truths. They have managed to express beautiful thoughts and feelings in very simple words. So, before I discuss the poem The Daffodils, uh, let me introduce this great poet, this great man who was born in the 18th century in 1770 to a lawyer father. Now, Wordsworth's father was a lawyer, and unfortunately, when Wordsworth was only 13-year-old, he lost his father, and he left. The father left very little money for this child. He had a sister also, Dorothy Wordsworth. So Wordsworth, he was educated by his uncles, and he was sent to a good school. Then he went to Cambridge University, where he took up a BA degree, graduation degree. Now he was not a good student, very good student. He was a good student, but not a very good student. So there was nothing distinguishing about his student career. And when he left college, he was not sure about any career. He hadn't thought about any career. So he decided to give his life to literature, and he published some poems at the age of 20 or 21. But Wordsworth's the defining moment in his life came when he met Samuel Taylor Coleridge, a great mind, a great scholar of his age. And Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Southey, these three poets, no, they are called lake poets because they settled themselves in the lake districts and they remained there for a long time. Of course, Wordsworth later on shifted to another place. But the beauty of this place, the peace, tranquility, the valleys and hills, the lakes, the natural sights and sounds of this lake districts, this this influenced his life and his writings. Wordsworth was born very near the lake districts also. It was a place, a small town called Cockermouth in 1770. In fact, Wordsworth, among all the romantic poets, these 6 romantic poets, Wordsworth, John Keats, Percy Bysshe Shelley, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Lord Byron, Robert Southey, among all these 6 poets, he was the earliest to be born and last to die in 1850 at the age of, at the great age of 80. And Wordsworth was very fortunate in the fact that he had a very affectionate sister who remained unmarried, and she dwelt with him, remained with him throughout her life, and she was Dorothy Wordsworth. Wordsworth later on married also, and he had a very equally affectionate wife. He was very fortunate. You know, if there is peace, tranquility, and love in a household, the productivity of a man, of a person, increases. Whatever a person's ability or potentiality is, you know, that potentiality is expressed best where there is affection around a creative mind. Wordsworth was so fortunate that he had a very intelligent and affectionate sister like Dorothy Wordsworth, who accompanied him every day on his walks. And this Dorothy Wordsworth, you know, in fact, is responsible for so many creations of Wordsworth. Wordsworth actually read his the journals, and Dorothy Wordsworth used to maintain a journal where she had a habit of very dutifully noting down all the details of her of the sights and sounds, the experiences, the incidents that took up in her that cropped up in her day-to-day life. So Dorothy Wordsworth's journals has a very important place in Wordsworth's life. Wordsworth, whenever he went to visit some place or whenever he met an interesting person from a countryside or town, whatever experience he underwent, he was sure to find a detailed note about that place or person or incident in the journals of Dorothy Wordsworth. And it was a habit of Wordsworth to, whenever he wanted to compose a poetry, he would read the journal first of his sister and take up so many words, even and phrases from that journal, and then he would compose a poem.